Hey friends, it is May and I am here with our Azure Standard haul for the month. If you are unfamiliar with Azure Standard, Azure is a family-owned co-op that has been around for, goodness, a long time. I want to say like 40 years. And they deliver nationwide. They have really good sourcing on their food products, and it's one of my favorite ways to stock our family's pantry for both our everyday needs and our longer term storage. We purchase in bulk, and that way we are able to save money and increase the quality of our ingredients without taxing our budget too much. So today I'm going to share with you some of what we've got this month and the ways that we make that happen. So I have peppermint leaves cut and sifted. This is a pound. This is what a pound of peppermint leaves looks like in a Mylar bag. This is actually what we use. My husband uses this most frequently, and he loves to have peppermint tea and to mix some peppermint in with his green tea. And so though we have peppermint essential oil that he also uses, he likes really huge punch of peppermint. So he mixes both the herb and the oil together, and we buy it in bulk this way. If you're purchasing bags of peppermint tea, you're probably paying way more than if you just get the herb and use it like a loose leaf tea. Okay, so we've got that. Here in our boxes, I have 3 bags of broccoli cuts. I obviously would love to have this fresh from our garden, but the reality is our broccoli did nothing last year. Our garden barely did anything last year. We've really been working on building up the soil. So Lord willing, this year we will have some broccoli in our freezer, but we didn't have a ton of veggies preserved like I wanted to have. So we are making do in those in-between months. Some of you in the US are probably already getting some garden harvest. We are in Casper, Wyoming, and that means our growing season is super short. Like, we just had our average last frost date. Our actual last frost, I believe, we hope, was a couple weeks ago. So next week I will start hardening off my non-hard frost hardy plants, but in the meantime, we're making do with some of those frozen broccoli cuts. I prefer that over buying broccoli this time of year from the store. I just feel like it's not super fresh most of the time. So I'd rather get it frozen from when it had been harvested fresh. So I've got 3 bags of those that we've got. And then cheese. We eat a lot of cheese, and this is really cold because it's been in our freezer. So I buy cheese frequently in 10 pounds at a time. So it's 2 5-pound loaves. This is the white cheddar from Sierra Nevada, right? Yeah. The organic raw milk white cheddar. It is super, super versatile. So we love a lot of different cheeses, but I like to have the white cheddar for just like your everyday. If you want a grilled cheese, it works. It works if you want it on tacos, where you don't have to have 6 different types of cheese, which honestly I would love. But when you're getting your raw milk organic cheese, or raw cheese I should say, then the price tends to go up on that. And so getting a whole lot of variety versus getting several really solid ones, you know, sometimes it's a budget thing. So we've got 2 of those. I usually will freeze one of them just depending on where we're at in our cheese storage. Sometimes I don't freeze it and I just keep it packaged like this, and it lasts for a while as long as it's sealed. So I actually need to put one of these in our fridge. So I'm going to keep one out and the other one's going back in our chest freezer. Then while I am standing over here, we have a 25-pound bag of spelt grain. This is whole spelt. We have a grain mill that I grind our wheat with, and I've really been working to transition us away from your more hybridized wheats that are harder for the body to digest and get us more onto some of the ancient grains like spelt and einkorn. So restocking us on that. This will go into our 5-gallon buckets for storage there. It has been in the freezer. So if you have never purchased whole grain like that before, where it's the whole wheat berry, important thing to note, you either want to take your entire bag and put it in a chest freezer or any freezer will work, just you need freezer space, right? Put the whole thing in a freezer and freeze it for at least 3 days. Then take the bag out, let it come completely back to room temperature before you open it, so that the humidity doesn't really impact the grain very much. And then once you do that, as back at room temperature, you're ready to store it just in your 5-gallon bucket like that. If you do not have space in a freezer, what we did for a very long time is we mixed diatomaceous earth in to our spelt, because we were in an apartment. Our apartment freezer is not that big. So we did not have space in order to be able to freeze a whole bag at a time. So I just mixed it in with some diatomaceous earth. The reason you want to do that is your whole grains have insect eggs like weevils and stuff in them frequently. And what will happen if you don't do that is over time, given the right environment, they will hatch, and then you will lose your entire bulk purchase. And you don't want that. Nobody wants that. So take the proper precautions and you don't have to deal with it. All right, we got more over here. So sales flyer, because I'm old school and I really like to have the hard copy to go through and flip through. So this is for next month. And I will go through here and highlight and mark what I want to take advantage of the sales with. Then this is just a 1 pound bag. I would have liked to have done more. It is cheaper if you go bigger. Not always though. So be sure, Azure shopping tip, that you calculate the price per ounce or price per pound. Frequently it's already done for you and you can see that. Like a lot of the ones, they've already calculated it down and it's in the pricing when you select your size. Sometimes it's cheaper to get 2 5-pounds than it is to get a 10-pound. So you want to look at that. But that's not often. Most of the time it is, the larger purchase, the cheaper per ounce. So, but then again, sometimes you just don't have that much wiggle room in your budget, but you need to restock something like chocolate chips because you don't want to be out of your chocolate chips. Now, these are soy-free, which I really like. They're just cane sugar, your cocoa. That was me saying cacao, but reading cocoa at the same time. Cocoa liquor and organic cocoa butter. So very simple ingredients. You're not getting any garbage in here. Azure also does some due diligence for you on things like cane sugar that now people are desiccating with glyphosate. So Azure ensures they do some due diligence with their sourcing to be sure that's not happening with the ingredients that you are getting when you're purchasing from them. So I love this Ms. Gray loose leaf tea. One of these days we'll get mine bulk, but I don't go through it as fast as my husband goes through his green tea and his peppermint. So I've been buying it just a little at a time, but this is basically Earl Grey with lavender added. It's happy. It's happy. So I just got one of those. It's loose leaf. Did I say that? I'm not sure if I said that. It is. So you can kind of decide how strong you want it, which I really like about loose leaf tea. Then I'm going to skip. We have more food, but yes, they do have items like Maggie's Organic wool socks. Now, these are not 100% wool. I wish they were, but I do like these a lot for hiking in the summer when I'm not wearing my earth runners. Because I frequently will wear my earth runners when I'm out. That way I'm grounding. They're sandals. They're great if you get wet. They dry off really quickly, but sometimes you need a regular sock and hiking shoe, right? Of course, not the old school like heavy hiking shoes. Be nice to your feet. Make sure they have space to your toes to splay and that you have your good foot mobility. A regular hiking boot, like conventional style, they don't give you that. But I use usually my Zero shoes and some of those Urban Hiker socks. So I wanted another pair of those and I grabbed those. Then maple syrup. You guys, this is some of the best pricing on real maple syrup that I've found. There used to be grade A and grade B. If you've noticed, you can't find grade B maple syrup anymore. That's because they renamed it to grade A dark robust. That is your former grade B, which means that it's got more minerals in it and it's not as processed as your grade A, quote unquote. So we like to stock up on this. I would love to get a great big gallon of it, but as you're building your food supply, sometimes you have to start just buying a little bit bigger than what you were before, and then a little bit bigger, and build from there. And it saves you money over the long run, the more you're able to buy in bulk. But getting there is a process. Have patience with yourself. Okay, then I got us some raw almonds. These are just your standard raw ones, which means they have been, if I remember correctly, they're exposed to steam, I think, for like a hot second. They do have truly raw. Again, you're on your scale of good, better, best, fantastic kind of thing, and pricing. So I got us almonds. We don't eat a ton of nuts, but I do like to make a soaked granola, and I haven't made that in a while because I've been out of some of my ingredients. So getting that back in. And then last but not least, this looks way lighter than what it was just yesterday, but this is our chicken feed, and it is the Scratch and Peck, organic layer mash. I should have brought it over here to show you. It says mash, but it's not like mash. Like, you have your whole wheat berries that are in here and things too. But I love this one because they make sure that they're not grinding the berries. Any of the grain that's in there is not ground, it's whole. So that is easier. You know, it's not going to go rancid. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not going to go rancid. And then also your, you can ferment this. I have not done it yet, but it is an ability with the layer mash to ferment. And it is the high protein. It's got a lot of really great stuff. No garbage. This is soy-free and corn-free. Where's my, I thought the ingredients were listed on here. Am I incorrect on that? I might be incorrect. Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom, y'all. So this is, oh, there's a spider. It got on there. I had it on the floor. So you've got your, besides your grains that are in here, you have like black soldier fly larvae and that sort of thing, so that you're getting really good nutrition to your chickens and not just a bunch of filler grain. Also, I love these bags from Azure. These are 100% compostable. This is even compostable ink that's on here. So I will take this bag and I will rip it into smaller pieces, and then I will put it through our shredder. And this actually goes into our chicken run, then into the deep bedding that we have for them there. So it acts as your, Joel Salatin likes to call it the carbonaceous diaper for the chickens. So it absorbs a lot of the manure, and it mixes the carbon with the nitrogen, and it keeps it from the nitrogen just from releasing into the air. And then your chickens scratch it, and as it gets wet in the summer and everything, then it breaks down into compost that when we cleaned out our run this spring, we were able to fill all of our garden beds with compost straight from the chicken run, and we didn't have to buy any new compost, which is pretty awesome. And it's already been aged quite a bit and broken down because it's been mixed in. It's not just like sitting straight manure, you know, and there were wood chips and stuff in there too. It wasn't just the bags from Azure. That would be a whole lot of bags. But anyway, that's what we've got this month, friends. I would love to hear, if you shop at Azure, what are some of your favorite things to grab? Tell me in the comments down below. And until next time, take care, friends. Cheers.